Hi, I'm Maddie from Echo Company, and today I'm going to be talking to you about different fire lighting tools available on the Bushcraft Lab. So what I'll do now is I'll take each one and I'll practice 5 strikes on it, and then if it lights in 5 strikes, brilliant. If it lights less, even better. So first off, we're going to be talking about Light My Fire, which is amazing, loved by all bushcrafters, and this one especially is made from recycled coconut shells, which is even better for the environment and gives it a little bit of an edge. This one isn't as long as the other two which I'll be showing, but it's the same thickness as well. So it's good as a little pocket version, but won't be good in the long run. So I'll practice my 5 strikes on here, and I honestly think this will be a little bit less. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 strikes. And that was the Light My Fire coconut shell, which I really thought was actually going to get 5 strikes. And next we're talking about the Web-Tex fire lighting tool, which is really convenient because it can be used on either side, as opposed to other fire lighting techniques that can only be used on one. So this is good for right and left-handers. This one is a little bit longer than the Light My Fire fire lighting steel, so it might last you a little bit longer. And Web-Tex is amazingly popular for different cadet forces and really popular in the military as well. So again, available on the Bushcraft Lab, and I'll be doing my 5 strikes on this to test this one out as well. Start properly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bad fire steel. So that took a lot. So I'm going to say this isn't my favourite, and it wasn't very comfortable on my hands, as if you can see there are nice little marks there because the handle isn't very comfortable to use. Next one I'll be talking about is the Schrade fire lighting tool, and this one is a little bit different, and I haven't seen many like it, as it has this sort of rounded smooth edge, which is really different, but also much longer than the Web-Tex and the fire steel. So this one looks like it'll be used in the long run and can be used for all sorts of things. One thing I don't really like about this is because it's so long, the string doesn't quite give you a lot of access. It does go all the way, as you can see, but I just don't like the restriction on it. But we'll be testing that out in our 5 strikes again. So with this Schrade fire lighter, obviously as I mentioned before, it's a bit different around the sides and it's not really quite what I'm used to. And if you try and light it in the normal way, it becomes very difficult, and also the string really restricts you from how far you can actually go and how much pressure you can put on it. So from a recent discovery, we've found if you place it down here and you strike up and down, it lights a lot easier, and then you don't have to stretch all the way down. You can stay in the middle and whack it up and down like that to create sparks. And this fire lighting tool we're using is the Pathfinder, which comes as a little compact set which you can use, and it has a little pulley string as well. So the reason why it has this little area here is so you can store your tinder and things like that. So you could, if you wanted to, place a cotton wool ball in here with Vaseline or any other sort of tinder you can use in this little area here. And this one is a lot more thicker than this one. So that means it can be used for a really long time. It feels really quite secure in there. That's not going to come out anytime soon. And it's also a luminous colour, so you won't be losing it if you just pop it in your Bergen or in your bag like this, your family micro adventure bag. It'll be easy to find it, and it is quite good storage to pop in there. And also you can adjust this as well, so when you open it you've got a lot more length in there. You could also put it on the end of your bag and tag it along, so it's again easier to find. So this one is the Pathfinder with the tinder storage as well. So let's give this a go and see how many strikes we can get on this. 3, 4. Awesome. So the first two didn't actually set a strike, but it took 3 strikes with a spark to actually get that. And now it's lighting another little bit as well. But yeah, you have to start from the back and push your way down rather than starting here. Really need to get all that force in. But it is quite thick, so it will last you a long time. And the last one we're talking about is very, very similar to the Pathfinder, as it also has a tinder container at the top here, which does have a small amount of cotton wool in there already. It's a lot smaller than the Pathfinder container, but if it's just a quick thing that you need, then you can pop it in there. If you're out on the trail and you see some tinder, you can pop it in there. And this one has the same sort of idea with the connecting on here, and it's a lot smaller, more cylindrical, and obviously this is Grylls Gerber, a very popular brand, so we'll be testing this out and see how well it works against the other fire steels. So the next one is the Gerber, which also has a little tinder pouch in this lid here, which I showed you earlier. And this one is the same sort of concept and the same striking pattern as if you start from the back and not from here. So let's give this a go. 1. So 2. So this actually took the quickest amount of strikes to light, but you have to really start from the back and put a lot of pressure on to get a decent strike. Because if you start from here, it's not as powerful as it is if you start from the back. Okay. So after looking at the fire steels and testing them out, getting the feel for them, I think I probably got my favourite and my least favourite for sure. But the first one, which I knew I was going to love, it was my absolute favourite, is the coconut Light My Fire. As I said, I've always loved Light My Fire. It's really popular and it's very comfortable. It's got your thumb holding, so it's so easy to use. The string's not too restrictive and you can use it either side, and it's just so easy to use. And it's quite small, so it'll be good as a pocket sort of holder. And again, it's just so easy, and it's also got a whistle in case you ever need that as well. But for efficiency and my personal favourite, not everyone's, but certainly for me, I think this is definitely my favourite one. And then moving on, I'd love to love Gerber, and I do sometimes, but this did present its problems, as you need to really go far back, and it's just not something that I've used before personally. But I do think it's extremely useful in the fact it's quite thick. It has got a tinder holder, not a necessarily large one, but for me on a daily basis, if I see just a bit of tinder on a bushcraft workshop when I usually use cotton wool anyway, it is nice. I could have somewhere to put it in. So if I did take this out on an expedition, I would have tinder in there anyway, which is nice. And it was a really, really powerful strike to use and really quick and efficient. Schrade, I had a little bit of discrepancies about it, as it's a weird shape that I've never used before, I've never even seen before, and it is quite restrictive. But after finding a new technique of scraping in the middle, forwards and backwards quite quickly, it was really, really effective. So I think you come to a sort of a different way of thinking, a different way of using it, then I could learn to love this. Pathfinder, got to say it's not one of my favourites. It is really useful, and I'm sure some other people must love this, but for me personally, it's just not the greatest tool I've used. I had a lot of problems trying to get it to light in the first place. The tinder storage, however, is so much better than the Gerber, as you can fit a lot more in there. But for me, it's a no. Sorry Pathfinder, but I do love the thickness you have on this. And also Web-Tex, for me, this handle is just so uncomfortable. It left marks on my hand. I wouldn't use it in the field, it's just not efficient for me. And if I was going to use something like this, which is very similar to Light My Fire, I would just spend the extra money and get the Light My Fire, just for the comfort and the ease. And it was quite hard to get lighting, and the striker just wasn't particularly up to scratch. So that is certainly not my favourite. So obviously you've only got my opinions on these products, but if you want to find out the product specifications and any other minor details, head over to the Bushcraft Lab website and you can find out all the details and all of the other information on their website. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you take into consideration these tips and advice when you're buying your next fire steel. See you soon. Bye bye.